As Naomi said, my name is Kyle, and we're going to do a tech spotlight on Clicker Writer today for Disability Rights New Jersey. Before we begin, I just wanted to introduce myself briefly. I have a marketing background, and I've stepped into this role, and I've really enjoyed learning a lot about assistive technology and assistive technology for students with special needs primarily is who we're kind of targeted towards, but we also do a lot of great work assisting students completing the general curriculum as well. Anyway, a little bit about Clicker. We develop award-winning literacy software that supports students of all ages and all abilities, and we're available on Windows, Macs, iPads, and Chromebooks. And yeah, we've worked with thousands of schools over the past 30 years, and I'd love to show you how Clicker Writer can support you and your students as well. And after this demo, we are going to send out a form just in case anybody's interested in starting a trial. I could definitely help you guys out with that, provide any assistance regarding training and just, getting that trial up and going so you guys can play around with Clicker Writer a little bit more in our other apps, Clicker Books and Clicker Talk. But like I said, we're going to focus on Clicker Writer, primarily our sentence sets, connect sets, and word banks. And I'm going to go into detail about all those aspects a little bit later. So our agenda, what is Clicker? We're going to utilize learning grids, overview of Clicker Writer sets. Like I said before, those sentence sets, connect sets, and word banks. We're going to talk about our partnership with unique learning systems and our curriculum that we already have pre-made. And then if we have time, we're going to customize user profiles and we're going to look at analytics. I'm briefly going to show you guys examples of what Clicker looks like, and then we're going to dive right into the demo. But this is one of our topics, the Great Barrier Reef. This is that connect set that isn't a single sentence outcome. So students click into these cells and build the sentences. I didn't touch on the Clicker board, but this is our graphic organizer. What's great about this is it could quickly be turned into a word bank, and I feel like I'm explaining a lot verbally, and I do want to show you guys as well. This is just traditional writing grids that we have, letter writing, and this is a practical example I like to show. And then analytics. At the end, we're going to show you, how we have this forensic level of data. We could really see how the students are using Clicker and, how we can progress them to the next stage in their education. And these are just some pictures of all the thousands of students that we touched. I really enjoy, reading stories about it and yeah, just also even meeting these students as well from time to time and assisting them any way I can. And here is just a little bit of a contact form, but like I said, we're going to send out that Google form. All right, you guys are still with me. Let's begin here. So, we're going to hop in to this sentence set, and this is for the most emerging writers. So, what's great about Clicker is you can lean on these cells, you can click these cells to create your sentences. So, right now, we have what's called a view and remember order. So you can click the eyeball, you can view the correct sentence, you can click on the correct sentence, and it will Clicker will read it to you.
Tim loves the seasons.
And yeah, that's basically a broad overview of what this unique learning system sentence set would look like. So what I really like to do is I like to go into options, and I'll have time to really go over the options menu if we have time at the end, but I call this bringing Clicker to life. If we go into options, go into the left to speech, and we have Clicker speak after every word that is typed. Now when we go into type the sentence,
Tim loves the seasons. Tim loves the
I do see
seasons.
the chat is, oh, yeah. And like Naomi said in the chat, I'm just checking the chat. Please feel free to jump in at any time. I love feedback. And yeah, I could try to address any questions on the fly here. So if we click the arrow, we go to the next sentence, and that's basically how you're building your sentences, kind of cell by cell here, leaning on the cells, leaning on that sentence structure. What I did want to show with this sentence set is how to edit this, how to customize this for, a certain level of students. So if we go into Clicker Set, we go into the right and click Edit. Here is where we get basically our editing view. So we have kind of like a PowerPoint view on the left-hand side here. Here we can go into all the sets and we can really dive deep. My name's Kyle. Say I want to make this for my student named Kyle. Kyle loves the seasons. We could change the picture. We can do a lot of things with these cells. We can add a picture to individual cells if we wanted to. So I'll show you how that's done. If we go into our mountain icon on the right, click Picturize, and here we have pictures for each cell. Now, I talked about how this sentence set was in View and Remember. So if you click the eyeball, you get the correct sentence.
Kyle loves the seasons.
And yeah, there's many different ways that we can edit this and make this more, tailor this to a certain ages, certain levels, I guess is all I'm trying to say. So if we want the most amount of support for this single sentence activity, we're going to change the model of the sentence to view and copy, and we're going to go and change the word order to guided order. So now, you could see that it changes right away here, and you can see exactly what it looks like. Say our student is maybe has low vision or has trouble viewing the cells, we can always increase the font here. And then if we go into maximize cell height, then we get a nice large target area for this. Now you're thinking, that took a couple minutes to just do this one sentence. What's great about this editing view is that if you go into the bottom left here, you can apply these settings to all the grids. So when I click it, I can have view and copy and guided order for all of these grids. And now when I click go, this looks a lot different than that view and remember, and I believe it was in random order. Now we cannot get this wrong. It's an errorless free activity. We can click the correct sentence,
It is winter. It is cold.
and then
It is winter. It is cold. It is winter. It is cold.
yeah, we just go each sentence by sentence and
Tim makes a snowman. Tim loves winter. Tim makes a snowman. Tim loves winter.
you guys get the idea. I don't want to go through each sentence one by one, but that's a tiny overview of our sentence sets and primarily what Clicker Writer is most known for. So I know that we're going to stick to Clicker Writer today, but I did want to show you guys that especially for our unique learning systems curriculum, what's great is they are all sentence sets, so they all are in this kind of, this single sentence outcome format. But if I were to go into Clicker Set and I can basically turn this sentence set, this writing activity, into a book. So you can do this with any sentence set that we have. And I didn't even touch on learning grids, which I definitely am jumping around a little too much for my liking. But as you can see, that sentence set turned into a book. So we can, use this as a pre-writing activity if we wanted to, or we could finish it as well. With these books, you click the pencil icon, you can edit it. Everything in Clicker is, customizable. So we really put a strong emphasis on teachers being able to edit our existing content that's already made. And to get to our resource bank of learning grids, what you're going to do is you're going to go into the top left, click the file icon, and then go over to the globe into our learning grids. So you can see that we have over 3,300 resources already available. We have, sentence sets, connect sets, and so on. So what I like to just briefly touch on in learning grids is how easy you can filter the resources. So you're thinking 3,300 is a lot. If you just wanted sentence sets, you could filter it by sentence set, or you could search in the search bar, or another option would to be to toggle by topic here in the toolbar. So if I wanted English language arts, maybe we want something, maybe social learning is on today's agenda. We can do the About Me section, and you guys can kind of see all the different things that we have. A lot of people I've shown in the past the solar system one that was a big hit. But yeah, we have a lot of different curriculum, pre-made curriculum to choose from here. All right. So I did now that we edited this unique learning set, we put it in view and copy in guided order, and we even edited some of the words. I want to just briefly show you guys how, right now I am in Clicker for Windows and Mac on a desktop computer, but say our students on iPad and Chromebooks need to use this. You can make this directly on an iPad or Chromebook, but we really recommend teachers doing it on their desktop, going into the Clicker set, saving the Clicker set as, and then just finding a cloud device. So I use a OneDrive. You could use a Google Drive, a Dropbox. We are compatible with Google Classroom as well. But yeah, I'm just gonna go into my folder here and I'll go in here. I'm just gonna type in edit, and all I'm trying to show you guys is how to edit it, put it into the cloud, and then go on Clicker Writer. And this is the iPad Chromebook view. Just want to be clear. Go into my files, and I gotta find you. Where are we? Should be this one. I think so. Great. And that's how you would do it. If anyone needs a brief refresher on that, totally fine to, support you guys in doing that. But that's, we kind of recommend splitting the class into three, maybe three different levels, class one, class two, class three. Maybe one class could have, a different model of the sentence and a different word order. And, just having, grouping students is pretty helpful in this case. All right, we went over our single sentence outcome. So I just am showing you guys how to create something from scratch. We typically don't show that, and I don't really want to go into a deep dive, but I like to go into this area to kind of show you guys the overview. So we went over the sentence set, and now we're going to go into the connect set, and we're going to end off on the word bank, and then these planning boards. And these are our books, and these are our other types of resources we have as well. But let's stick to Clicker Writer. I'm getting off topic here. So when I go into my connect set, you can see that this is not a single sentence single sentence outcome activity. We have a lot more cells to choose from, and we can make a lot more different sentences based on the variety of cells that we have here. So,
I don't like
um, I like all the seasons, but anyway.
summer. I don't like summer. It is.
And then as far as, how I would honestly show this, I would probably have the student have our word predictor kind of lay below. So this way we have a bit of supports going on here. The student can pick from the connect set below, but also to expand on their writing, they could use our word bank. And um, I don't want to go too much into the options, but what's great about our word predictor is we can really customize it based on what the students need. So if we need more words to choose from, which, I've found that that's not as common, but we can also, if they're a phonetic speller, we can prioritize that. So we can put that on high priority, and now the word predictor looks a bit different. And I know that the words are a little small here. We could also number the words as well. But yeah, that's kind of a brief summary of that connect set. Not a single sentence activity, kind of the bridge between, the sentence sets and the word banks here. And speaking of word banks, let's move on to that. So, if there isn't a topic in learning grids, which is rare to happen, you could always go to new, create the word bank from scratch, like I showed earlier. And I even recommend just going on Google, copying and pasting into the word bank, and you could quickly get a word bank that automatically populates, and you can add picture support to each cell and so on. Anyway, I'm going on and on here, but let's just stick to this existing summer word bank. So this is a topic specific word bank. We do have ones that are ordered alphabetically, but same idea. So if we wanted to add pictures, let's say, we quickly go into edit, and then we can quickly picturize these cells and add pictures. We can increase the font, and then, same thing, we can maximize the height of the cells, kind of giving a larger target area. And of course, we can even add to the words here in the, as we kind of did with the sentence set earlier. We can add words, we can take words away. Say we need this simplified, just for argument's sake, could easily do that, and now it's a lot different. Yeah, and that's a bit of the word bank. And I guess maybe I kind of wanted to populate this real quick so I could show you guys analytics. So,
Kyle loves the seasons. Kyle loves the seasons.
and
It was hot.
anyway, all this is going to make sense in just a second, guys. I'm just kind of filling out the document, and then we're going to go into analytics in just a second. But the last thing I wanted to show you from Clicker Writer was our word bank, or excuse me, our clicker board, our graphic organizer. So I'm going to go into our learning grids again. Remember, top left, go over to the globe, and let's just get a word bank. We've kind of been talking about the seasons a little bit. I can search for seasons here, and I can select word banks. Or excuse me, board. Somebody's got to correct me, guys. I'm talking to myself over here. I'm just kidding. All right. So, not sure if I really like this one, but this is kind of, the five senses. So, in summer, what did I see? I'm just filling this out, guys. But beach. Anyway, what I'm trying to show you is that anything that this is another pre-reading activity, or it's great to end a topic with, but what you can do here with this clicker board is you can turn it into a word bank. So we're brainstorming about the summer, we're brainstorming about what we saw, what we heard. I don't know. My dogs were barking this morning. We got pugs, Natalie and Lily. They're always barking in the morning. Anyway, you get the idea, guys. You could fill this out, and then to turn this into a word bank, you're going to go into the top left, click the share icon. We all know this icon, and then you quickly create the word bank. So now you have another topic-specific word bank, but this one is off words that we're familiar with. So it might be a little bit easier for the student to use these words.
Beach. Summer. Ice cream.
And yeah, that was a brief overview of Clicker Writer. I always say that we're kind of scratching the surface of what we offer here, especially with our writing support. That's really in depth. But what I wanted to end on is I wanted to show you guys our analytics. So when we go into the ribbon here, go to the right and select analytics. Here we can see a breakdown of what was being used, and you can see that the keyboard was about 18%. The sentence set, we leaned on that a lot for 36% of the words in the document in green. And then the word bank, I just kind of populated that just now. That's about 45%. It would, if we were to use the predictor,
Shop. Now. There
and
was.
this is just for an example, guys, but it would show you the predictor. So now 27% of the words were used with the predictor, and then it really shows you what the student used. So now when I'm going into clicker set, I can see that I used this sentence set to write these words. I really like spell check. I probably should have touched on this, but even with our analytics, spell check will you know, show how the student spelled the word wrong. Oops. So if I do And let's turn off the word predictor.
reading, reading, writing,
Now, when we go back into analytics, I just briefly like to mention that it does show how the student spelled it wrong. So if they're making the same type of errors over and over again, that could be really helpful for a teacher to pick up on that and to make recommendations accordingly. We have a section for teacher notes, so if the teacher wanted to, write any notes based on, what was happening, it could all kind of stay in one place and yeah, could be referred back to rather easily. So yeah, we also do have training resources on our website. I kind of wanted to briefly discuss, what we have to offer on the website. See, the chat is we have the iPads apps. Is this also available on Windows download? Patricia, yeah, it depends on what type of license model you have. So some of the time it is app specific to iPad and Chromebook, but other times, if it's a one school building license, you would have WinMac, iPad, and Chromebook access. I can, if you give me the school district, I can maybe reach out to you after this, but I understand if you don't feel comfortable just tossing that in the chat as well. All right, you know, I do have some time left, and if there's no questions, I would really love to touch on our accessibility options because I feel like it's really what Clicker was founded on, being accessible to more students. Oh, Pillar, New Jersey. All right, I'll look that up, and I'll get back to you. Thank you, Patricia. All right, so when we go into options, and we have options for speech support, the predictor, spell check. I wanted to go into our display options. So we can, say our student has low vision, we can change the background of the document, change the text color. I believe blue and yellow is kind of a good mix. And then even those cells that we were, yeah, those sentence sets, we can enlarge them. And then the border, we can have more thick. So just little things. See how it's not as thick? Now it's really thick. You could really see it. Showing a fingerprint, I probably should have done that before the demo started, but I always like to go from the default settings. But that'll be able to show touches. So now those little switches, those little changes that took, less than a minute really make this a lot different now. Um, and now the whole fingerprint, that's what I wanted to show you guys. You can really see where you're tapping along. Anyway, back into options. And we went over effects. We have a dyslexic friendly font that really helps the B's and the D's and other letters that are, somewhat hard to read sometimes be more legible. And I just wanted to briefly go into the keyboard. So we can make it into alphabetical view, quarterly or frequency, and then I like to show rainbow as well. Lastly, tools. Anything on the top here, we can add or take away. So if we don't want the student using a certain support, we can remove it for whatever reason. If we don't want them using spell check, we can take that away. And, you guys get the idea on that. I did like to show the document tools. So up here, we can make these bigger. And then on the bottom here, on my bottom right, we can make the grid tools and tabs extra large as well. So now does this work with screen readers also? It's a great question, Naomi. I've never gotten that question before. I would have to know exactly like what, um, I guess off the top of my head, I'd have to kind of know like what operating system it uses, and then I'd be able to kind of know if it's compatible, if that makes sense. Um, if that doesn't make sense, just let me know and I'll discuss with you after, Naomi. But that's a really, really good question. Anyway, as you can see, we have, you know, the document tools and tabs are enlarged, and then on the bottom here, this is a lot bigger as well. So we really have a nice large target area. And then think of this sentence set as a piece of paper laying on top of this yellow piece of paper, if that makes sense. All right. Well, I got to touch on our accessibility options. So we are compatible with eye gaze. and single and double switches. And then for the apps for iPad and Chromebook, I believe that we are compatible with single and double switches in Clicker. So you can make these options in an iPad or Chromebook in Clicker. You wouldn't have to use an iPad or Chromebook's accessibility for the switches. For eye gaze, in an iPad Chromebook, you would have to use the iPad Chromebook's accessibility settings, if that makes sense. But for WinMac, it's all here. So just some main differences, and then super keys. I really love showing this. It splits the keyboard into six large clusters, giving a nice large target area. And when we click go, keyboard, and you can see that when we click into it. So yeah, there's so many things that we can do with Clicker, and as I said, I'm just scratching the surface, but. As far as, bringing you guys to the website, I could briefly do that since I have a couple minutes left here. All right. But if anyone has questions, I would love to hear from you guys. All right. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. All right. So yeah, I'm just hopping on the website and I just kind of wanted to show you what our website looks like, our training resources that we have. We were talking about Clicker today, but we have Docs Plus and Clicker Communicator. And yeah, if anyone wants to jump in, I kind of heard something, but if you don't want to jump in, totally fine. Anyway, yeah, a lot of great tutorials. So I saw that. I thought I heard something, and then I just briefly wanted to go over some of our pricing options. So these are the one school pricing options that you can use Clicker on a certain set number of devices within one school building. We also have access for use throughout the district as well. That's just something that it's kind of more of like a PDF. Did I hear that correctly? That Clicker interfaces with unique learning systems. So that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. We have our own partnership with them. Um, Let me pull that up. But it does like we have basically about around here are all the units. I'm better at talking about it when it's up for me. All right. So yeah, I believe we have 19 units. We are not seeing the website. Oh, this always happens, guys, with Zoom. No. I gotta reshare, I think. Stop share. All right, I'm gonna just show unique share. All right. Um, yeah, so these are all sentence sets based on specific units with unique learning. So, as I said earlier, these are all sentence sets, writing activities that you can make into books, and you can edit, as you I hope that answered your question. I mean, that's honestly the best way I could answer it is that we have a curriculum that's related to it. If that like this is our partnership with them, and yeah. I mean, I wish you guys could have seen the website, but I'm running low on time, and if anyone wants to discuss this further, we are sending out a Google form to fill out, and it has my meeting link in there as well, and you could book a meeting with me at your convenience. But yeah, I see one in the chat. All right. Yeah. If there's not any other questions, I appreciate your guys' time today, and I hope to be hearing from you. We are running extended trials for the new school year, and yeah, it was great to do this for you guys. All right.